Hi guys, Joy Williams here, Executive Master Educator with Farouk Systems. Welcome to the Chi Academy Online. Today we'll be discussing Chapter 11, Salon Texture Services. Now I want to focus on a specific part of the chapter that talks about doing color services and relaxer services in the same day. I know a lot of you guys have plenty of questions about this. Feel free to comment below. Make sure that you ask us whatever questions you have. We'll try to answer them during the broadcast and also if we need to answer some at the end. But I know you guys are ready. Let's get started, right? Hi, Arisha.
Hi, Miss Joy.
Hi. So we have Arisha here. She's my beautiful model. As you see, she's got beautiful, long, relaxed hair. It's gorgeous. Look at that shine. Arisha was actually relaxed and colored in the same day today. I know your first question is how, right? So that's always the question is how is this even possible? One of the things I love about Chi Innovation and Technology is that we learned all the rules that you guys learned in cosmetology school, and then we broke them all, as true artists do, okay? So one of the things that I've heard, what are some of the rules that you guys have heard? Was one of them that I learned was color can't lift color, right? That's one of the rules that we heard. We also heard you cannot relax and permanently color in the same day. Those are rules that we've heard, right? With Chi Shine Shades, with our Chi Color, everything in this company is ammonia free. From our Deep Brilliance Relaxer to our color lines to all of our systems, everything is ammonia free. So that's why we're able to do multiple services in one day. As a professional stylist, as a cosmetologist, and as a business owner, that means more money in my pocket and gives me better value add to my customers. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'll show you a little bit about our Deep Brilliance line, but I first want to admire this color. What do you guys think? Look at that. Look at the nice, beautiful shine. We've got some depth here with our 5RV, and then we went out with our copper at the ends. So give nice depth and dimension, beautiful shine. Look at that body. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about our Chi Deep Brilliance. If you guys have never used this line, I promise you want to use it today. And this is one of my favorite products in the line. It's going to be our deep protein mask, our strengthening treatment. So when you're getting ready to do a relaxer and a color service in the same day, you want to make sure that you're using this mask. I'll tell you a little bit about Deep Brilliance. I'm going to let you smell this. What do you think? Isn't it smells amazing?
Great, yes.
Honestly, hint, hint, we should do this in a body splash so I could wear it every day. I love it that much. So
Yes.
our Deep Brilliance protein mask is going to have our olive and manoi. So first of all, I'm the nerd that asks the questions, what's in it? So our olive oil is actually cold pressed. That's going to help with elasticity and shine. It's also going to add strength to the hair and also help to soothe the scalp. We have our manoi oil, which is a custom blend of organic coconut oil, as well as our gardenia flowers. That attributes to the smell that we love, right?
Right.
We have our silk, which we know has 17 of 19 amino acids. It's gonna also help to keep the hair nice and keep the bonds intact. Gonna add moisture, shine. And then we also have, sorry about that, love.
It's okay.
We also are gonna have our ceramic technology and our shine shades, okay? So we used our color today. And we did, well, let me first talk about the relaxer, I'm sorry. We used our relaxer today. We did our Deep Brilliance, okay? And we just went through with our Deep Brilliance. This is the thing that I love about the Deep Brilliance. There's one formula for all hair types and textures. So whether it's fine, medium, or coarse hair, and whether it is straight, wavy, curly, or tightly coiled, she's more on the curly family, we're able to use that one formula for all hair types, okay? So that's what I love about it. It takes out the guesswork of trying to figure out which formula to use. It's also gonna gently go in and relax that natural curl. Now, depending on where your curl sits, where your natural texture sits, is how gently it's gonna, how much it's gonna relax that curl. If it's more loose, then it's gonna give you more straight. If it's more of a tighter coil, then you may get more of a loose kind of wave. But that Deep Brilliance Relaxer is gonna go in, it's going to moisturize. There's shea butter in the Deep Brilliance Relaxer first and foremost, which is gonna help to soothe the scalp, okay? We also, as I said, we have the olive oil, the manoi, all those good things. So it's gonna go in and help to soothe the scalp. Once we're done with our complete relaxer system, then we're gonna go in, we're going to neutralize with our neutralizing shampoo. And then I like to follow up, this is what we recommend, I like to follow up before my relaxer, after my relaxer service, before my color service, with my deep protein strengthening mask. This stuff is gold, okay guys? It's gonna have a pH of 3.0. What is that gonna do for me? It's going to bring that pH back down, bring that pH level back down of the hair. So a relaxer is going to take the hair up to about a 12 or 13. I'm talking to professionals, right? We understand the pH scale. So it's going to take it up to like a 12 or a 13. We want to use our deep protein strengthening mask at a 3.0 to bring it all the way, bring it back down that scale. Help to close those cuticles that have been raised. Want to make sure that we infuse moisture, infuse shine. It's going to have provitamin B5, there's panthenol, there is our olive oil, all those wonderful things that's going to help to go in and really quench those curls, give that hair nice moisture, and give it shine. Then now we're prepared to do our next service, okay? So we're able to do multiple services. So we can go ahead and bring in our color. And of course, I'm going to glove up here. Now, we're going to go ahead and use this strengthening mask in between. We're going to let that sit for 5 minutes. Now, when I say 5 minutes, I mean 5 real minutes, not 5 hairstylist minutes, okay? Because 5 hairstylist minutes is more like 2. But we're going to do 5 full minutes, allow that to sit. Then we're going to shampoo, blow dry the hair. As we can see, she's been blow dried here. So, of course, our texture is relaxed. It's a little bit more full here, got a little bit of body. Even with her having the relaxer on her hair, look at the body that she still has. A lot of the time when you do a relaxer, and those of you that do texture services know, the hair a lot of times can be limp when it's not, you know, in another brand. So we're able to really be able to go in and keep that moisture. Look at the shine. There's nothing on her hair but our shampoo and our deep protein mask. So we're gonna go ahead and apply our color. I've gone in to determine that she is a good candidate to be able to receive both of these services today. That's the thing about doing multiple services in one day. You want to make sure that your client is going to be a good candidate for that, so that you keep this. You want to color with confidence and make sure that you keep your client's hair healthy, and we're going to color safely, okay? So we've got 2 formulas here. And as we can see, we created that depth there. So our first formula is going to be our 5 RV. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little smaller. Our 5 RV, we did 10 volume. Okay, this is just going to be at the roots, and this is just going to give me some depth and dimension. As you can see, her hair is about a level 5 or 6. It's not jet black. It's more of kind of medium to medium brown. So I love the fact that we're able to deposit this color in the same day and get a beautiful color payoff. So I'm going to keep her in the same level. We're just going to add more tone. Now I want to mix this up for you, and there's no magic, there's no green screen, but I want you to see the viscosity. Look at that. Look at the control. Look at the control that I have with our Chi hair color. So we want to make sure that we're using our Chi, and this is our shine shades. So we're going to use our shine shades in our 5RV. I'm going to apply that, unload my brush a little bit, because I always need a lot less than what I think I do. And I'm just going to apply that 1/8 inch. We took 1/4 inch subsections, 1/8 inch away from the scalp. And we're going to go ahead and apply that color right to her scalp. As I said, guys, as we're going on, if you guys have any questions, concerns, those types of things, please feel free to reach out. Please ask as many questions as possible. That's how we all learn. So we're going to go in, we're going to apply that. Look how it emulsifies right into the hair. Okay, I'm going to bring this back so that we keep it off her ear, and we'll go to the next section. But one of the things that I love, again, with having ammonia, with everything being ammonia free, that is why we're able to do these multiple services in one day. And so with having no ammonia in our product, we have our sodium hydroxide, which is what's in the relaxer. And then we have our hydrogen peroxide, of course, which is what's in our generators, okay? So those two are chemically in the same family. They have some of the same chemical makeup. So when you remove the ammonia element, then you don't have to worry about causing damage or breakage or those types of things. That's one of the things that was really amazing to me about our line, is that, you know, you learn those rules. Like I talked about, those rules in cosmetology school is, oh my God, you can't relax and permanently color hair. You can do all of that with our Chi Shine Shades. You're able to color permanently, semi-permanently, demi. Also, you're able to do color tone as well as conditioning glaze. So you're able to do a 5-in-1 system, okay? So you're able to give your clients multiple services, multiple color and dimension. That's what I love about it, is we're able to get a lot of dimension in the hair color. So you're not just doing one flat color. As a stylist, I never give my clients one flat color, because that means they can go to anybody and get that. So I'm always going in and giving dimension, creating custom color that's going to be beautiful on the client's hair. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Here's one of the things too, and we'll talk a little bit about, because we don't have a whole lot of time with you guys today, so you guys will see our full after once we're done. But we'll talk a little bit about our procedure. So first you're going to apply your She Shine shades. Then you're gonna go in and you're gonna allow it to process. Our processing time is 30 minutes room temp. On the day that you use a relaxer, you don't necessarily have to use heat, okay? It's going to go in, remember, we talked about that pH scale and that relaxer taking the hair up to, what, a 12 or 13. We're gonna go back in and balance that out, balance out that pH by using our neutralizing shampoo, as well as following up with our strengthening treatment. But we've got to remember that that hair has already been, the cuticle has already been raised. This works in our advantage, okay? This works in our advantage because our silk, our aloe that's in our color, our ceramic technology, which gives us full oxidation of the dyes, okay? Of the color pigments, that's gonna be able to go in, because the cuticle has already been raised, hair is going to receive and accept your color. Guess what? When you're doing our relaxer and color services on the same day, gray hair, fully covered. You're not even worried, even if you're not using our Gray Coverage series. So we have our Gray Coverage series, which is phenomenal. I love it, it's beautiful. But I find that I tend to get full coverage, especially when I'm doing relaxer and color on the same day. Let me mix that. Simply because the cuticle has already been raised, it's balanced out and we're closing it down, but it's ready to receive whatever I give it, okay? So what I did for hers, when we did our 5 RV on the roots, then we went back in through our ends, and you'll see me use the next formula on her ends, and we were using a 20 volume there. So she's a level 5. We did a 5 RV at the roots. We mixed a 8 RR with the 6C. We're gonna put that with 20 volume on her ends. Why would I do that? Anybody have an idea? So the reason why I'm doing that is because that 8 and that 6 is gonna give me about a 7, which is gonna give me 2 levels of lift, okay? So I'm using my 20 volume. I wanna get a little bit of lift. So yes, after a relaxer service, I'm able to get lift toward the ends, the mid shaft and the ends of my hair with the way that we're doing our color formula today, but you're able to get lift with just color. So guess what, guys? We're color melting without even using lightener. How amazing is that? So we're able to go in, we're able to give dimensional color, we're able to go in and give deposit color to the roots. We're gonna give shine, definitely plenty of moisture with our ingredients here, with our key ingredients of ceramic, aloe, silk, color lock complex. Our color lock complex is amazing with our Chi color. It's gonna help our color to last 30% longer in the hair. It's also gonna give us anti-fade technology. Here's the other thing that I like about the Deep Brilliance line, since we're mixing, going back and forth between the Deep Brilliance and the Shine shades, is that Monoi oil also gives thermal protection. Did you guys know that? So when you're doing any relaxer service, most of the time, they're getting ready to deal with a lot of heat. They're gonna have, you're gonna blow dry, you're gonna flat iron or curl. So you wanna start right in the middle, right at the beginning of you doing the service by giving them some thermal protection. So the Monoi oil, which smells phenomenal, also is gonna give us thermal protection. So that's really great. Then we have the shea butter, which has already gone in and moisturized the hair. You see how beautiful it is, how much movement and body it has. And we have her curls slightly relaxed here, but there's still some texture, there's still some dimension in there, there's still some body. That's what I love about it, is that it's not exactly bone straight for those that don't wanna be. A lot of the times we take all the body, all the movement out of the hair by relaxing bone straight, especially with the length of her hair. We wanna make sure that we give her some movement and some body and some length. So almost done with the application here. And again, we're doing 1/4 inch subsections. Do we have any questions so far?
We do have one question.
Awesome.
It's from
Yes.
Do you put the relaxer on first, rinse and dry the hair before you color hair?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jane. So the question was, do we put the relaxer on first, rinse and dry the hair, and then apply the color? That's absolutely the way that we do it. So you want to go through with your relaxer service, with your relaxer system, and we want to complete the full relaxer system. So that is the hair, the scalp protect to help protect the hair and scalp. You want to apply that first, then you want to go in and apply your relaxer. Allow that to process the allotted time based on your client's texture, whether it's fine, medium, or coarse. Allow that to process. Then you're going to shampoo. You're going to rinse the relaxer, emulsify it in the bowl, make sure that you get it all out, and then shampoo with our neutralizing shampoo, okay? Then you're going to go in with our Deep Brilliance Deep Protein Mask. You're going to leave that on for 5 minutes, let that sit, let that go in, and drench those curls with moisture and manoi oil and olive oil and all that good stuff. At that point, then you're going to go ahead and blow dry and reevaluate your client's hair before proceeding on to your color service. This way, we make sure that we're coloring very healthily. We want to make sure that we're coloring safe, that we're coloring with confidence, and that our client is still a good candidate to receive these services on the same day. Okay, so next, so we have our first formula. Okay, you can see that has a red violet in there. Now we've added some copper tones, because how many of you guys know that that copper is really, really in, those copper tones? So like I said, this formula, we've mixed our 8RR with our 6C. So I still want some warmth in there. I want some red because she's at a level 5. I know that I'm still working with an orangey and red underlying pigment. So I want to make sure that I intensify that, make that nice and beautiful and rich. So I'm just going in and fully saturating. Look at that. So we can go in and get full saturation. Here's the other thing that I love about our color. It emulsifies so well that you end up using a lot less color. I know sometimes as stylists we tend to be slightly heavy-handed. We like to use a lot of products. But I find with our Cheese Shine shades, a little goes a very long way. You can get the color in, you can go in and emulsify it. You immediately see the shine. And you're able to get full saturation. Again, we have no ammonia, so we're not worrying about the color swelling. Consequently, we also want to make sure that we get full saturation, because with it not having any ammonia, it's going to be where you place it. So if you don't place it there, then you may have a spot where you miss. So just be really careful to make sure that you go in and really work it in. But look how beautifully it is. How beautiful it it blends in. Get it emulsify it very well. Any other questions?
Yes, one more question from
Yes.
Annie.
Okay.
What happens if the color stays on longer than 30 minutes?
That's a great question. The question was, what happens if the color stays on longer than 30 minutes? Here is the thing that is one of my favorite parts, because a lot of the times I'm doing a color and maybe a haircut or a blow dry in the salon at the same time. After that 30-minute process, our Cheese Shine Shades turns into a conditioning treatment. So all the things that I just talked about, our aloe, our ceramic, our silk, all those things at this point are now conditioning the hair. So that's phenomenal. It's not a progressive color. I know a lot of the times when you're doing hair color, thank you. Yes. Definitely need a towel, thank you. When you're doing hair color, over the course of time, the longer you keep the hair color on, the darker it tends to be, right? Have you guys ever experienced that, where you're coloring hair and when that timer goes off, you're like dragging your client over to the shampoo bowl because you have to get that color off, because if not, it's gonna get darker. With our Cheese Shine shades, it literally turns into a color conditioner. It's done processing, and it just goes in and gives glaze and adds shine to the hair. So you can see the side that's done already is pure gloss shine, nice and healthy, and also repairing. That's really, really great. Also with great coverage, sometimes you may want to go in and you want to allow that color to sometimes sit for maybe 45 minutes. So that's definitely something that you can do. A lot of times gray can be resistant. So if they're more than 50% gray, you may want to go in and let it sit for 45 minutes. But this is what I will tell you from experience with using our Cheese Shine shades on the same day as a relaxer. Even with grays, I may not need that full 45 minutes. It's there and it's available, and then we suggest that you do it if you need to. But because, again, remember, we've gone so far up the pH scale and we're bringing it back down, that hair is ready to receive whatever. So we're able to go in and we go with our Chi Shine shades and we get that great coverage, a lot of times in my experience, in less than 45 minutes. So that's amazing because time is money, right? So we're gonna go ahead and complete this, complete her look here. Let me bring this to the front so you can see. Look at that saturation. And as we said, we went in with the Deep Brilliance Relaxer. She's a little bit more curly, tighter coiled at the roots, right? So we're able to just release some of that, relax some of that curl gently. So depending on the different hair types and textures, you'll be able to go in and do that as well. But imagine how much less frizz she's gonna have. Imagine how much more shine she's gonna have. So you're able to go in and address those issues very quickly and conveniently. And like I said, when we get ready to rinse out our color, so these are our steps to rinse out our color. So we go in, we're going to take her to the shampoo bowl once she's done processing. We're gonna let her sit for about 30 minutes once we're done applying. We're gonna allow her to sit for 30 minutes. We take her to the shampoo bowl. We're gonna apply a little bit of warm water. I'm not gonna go straight into shampooing. I'm gonna apply a little bit of warm water first. I'm gonna emulsify, okay? Emulsify the color. We're gonna help to remove some of the color, emulsify it, make sure that we get it off the side of the, around the hairline, and also really to kind of help to remove that color. Then we're gonna rinse, allow our water to run clear. From that point, then we apply our Chi Infra shampoo. We're gonna go in and shampoo a couple of times. Then we follow up with our Chi Color Lock. Our Chi Color Lock treatment is phenomenal, okay? If you guys have never used a Color Lock treatment, definitely recommend you do so. The Chi Color Lock treatment has a low pH, so it's gonna also help to go in, just like we lowered the pH with our Deep Brilliance Protein Mask, we're also lowering that pH right back down, closing that cuticle up with our Chi Ionic Color Lock treatment. We're gonna leave that on for another real 5 minutes, not hairstylist minutes. We'll leave that on for another real 5 minutes. And we're going to rinse that and then apply a little silk infusion, blow dry, and style as desired. So really easy to do. 4 easy steps is what we do when you're getting ready to use this on a client. Your first step is gonna determine the level that they started with. So we determined that she was at a level 5. She had some warmth already in her hair. So we wanted to keep that, bring it up a notch. She's a mommy. She doesn't always get to get pampered. So we want to make sure that we bring her up into the fall really, really nicely.
Thank you.
So we went ahead and determined where she was at. We determined where we wanted to go. That's our step 2. Okay, so we wanted to go 5 RV at the root. We went out to 8 RR with a 6C, which makes us a 7. Okay, at the ends. Give us some copper tones at the ends. Then we determined our tone, like we said, we use the warm and the copper. And then we're gonna use our volume generator. So we use a 10 volume at the root, 20 volume at the end to give us a little bit of lift. The root gave us some deposit color. Our 20 gave us a little bit of lift at the bottom. Imagine being able to do these services where you're doing multiple services in one day with your clients. They're gonna love you for it. And that's it. 4 easy steps, going in, using our Chi Shine shades, getting color, getting texture services in the same day, making sure that we understand how to apply the color, making sure that we know all of the things that we can do. Again, our Chi Shine shades is a 5-in-1 system. We can do permanent, semi-permanent, demi-color, demi-permanent, as well as color tone and conditioning glaze all in the same day, okay? It's our PDS system. We absolutely love it, ammonia-free. And we're gonna get beautiful color payoff. So we're gonna go ahead and complete her, and we'll show you guys afterwards. But if there's another question before we go offline, I certainly will take any additional questions.
We do have more questions.
Perfect.
About 3 or 4 questions.
Okay, let's go with ask those 3 or 4 questions while she's processing.
About great coverage.
Yes.
Karen.
Yeah. Hi, Karen.
Use the great coverage series as a semi-formula.
The question was, can we use the Gray Coverage series in the semi formula?
As a semi-formula.
as a semi-formula. So we're able to, so the short answer is yes. Okay, let me explain how we do that. So in our Chi Shine Shades manual, it's going to show you, and even in the Chi Cosmetology book, you'll see the different formulations on how to mix the permanent, the demi, and the semi. So at the semi, we're going to use 1 part color, 1 part generator, 1 part our color lock treatment that I just got through raving about. So you're going to use equal parts of those, 1 part color, 1 part generator, 1 part color lock, okay? So that processing time is going to be 15 to 30 minutes, depending on where you want to go, and a lot of times you're going to get some tone in there as well. Okay, so you're able to use any of the Chi Shine shades in our series, whether it's our standard series or our natural gray coverage series, in any of these formulas. This is one of the things that I want you to pay attention to as well, though. When you're doing gray coverage and you want to make sure that you're getting full gray coverage, you want to make sure that you're using a 20 volume, okay, because that's going to go in and it's going to help to raise the cuticle. It's going to give you full coverage payout, color payout. The other thing is that when you're doing the semi-permanent, of course, you know it's not going to last as long as a permanent. So our semi-permanent lasts up to 12 shampoos. Our permanent color lasts until you get ready to cut it off or change the color, okay? So just be aware of that and make sure that normally when we're using our gray coverage series, we mix it in equal parts. So we'll normally do 1 part color, 1 part generator. If you want to use it as a semi, you absolutely can by adding that 1 part of color lock treatment, but just be aware of the variances that you'll experience once you do that. What's the next question?
The next question is from Manny.
Okay, Manny.
You said glaze. What does that mean? And can you create a glaze for the ends of the hair?
Absolutely. So when I say glaze, I'm talking, let me show you exactly what I mean when I say glaze. So look at this. You see this shine here? So if, for example, Arisha wanted to come back, and there's a few things that we can do. She wants to come back and just say, okay, I just want to put just like a clear on top, just, you know, it's starting to get dull. I've shampooed it with something that you didn't recommend or whatever, and it's starting to get dull. We can go in and we can add that shine with just our clear, okay? A lot of times when I'm teaching classes and I'm teaching other cosmetologists, I tell them, remember, in Chi Shine Shades, clear is color. It functions just like a color. It just does not have our color pigment. So it's going to have the aloe, it's going to have the silk, it's going to have the ceramic technology, it's going to have the color lock complex, like the anti-fade. So we're going to be able to go in and we're going to be able to give her shine and glaze here. We also can do that with a color. So say, for example, you want to go in and just tone. We want to just go in and add a little bit more warmth here. We're able to use that in our semi-permanent formula. Remember, our semi-permanent formula is going to be our 1 part color, 1 part generator, 1 part color lock treatment. So that's going to give us our glaze conditioning formula, and that's how you're able to do a glaze, but still give shine. Use either color if you want to, or you can use clear just to give just a nice shine, and that's how you're able to do a glaze. Thank you, Manny, for that question. That's an awesome question.
Okay, one more question is from
Yes.
Joe.
Okay, Joe.
After relaxer, use 10 volume or 20 volume for gray hair.
For gray hair after a relaxer. So honestly, you could use either one. This is what I'll tell you. We recommend that you use after a relaxer our 10 volume, but a lot of the time, only because the cuticle is already open. But you can use a 20. Here's where your professional discretion comes in. You want to make sure that that client is a good candidate. You want to make sure that their hair can take that. If their hair is very porous, if it was already sort of damaged before you started, I would use a 10 just to make sure that I'm going to not cause any adverse effects. But you can use a 20, that's what our recommendation is. But remember that relaxer is going to take the hair up the pH scale back to like a 12 or a 13. We're bringing it back down using our neutralizer shampoo as well as our Deep Brilliance Protein Mask. So the cuticle is ready to receive. It's already been open and it's closing back, so it's ready to receive. So you're really able to get full coverage of gray with either a 10 or a 20 immediately after a relaxer. Now, if it's not the same day as a relaxer, then use 20 for sure because you want to go in and raise that cuticle. But the same day as a relaxer, I've found that you can also get full coverage with the 10. Okay, that's it. All right, guys, so we're going to let her finish processing. We're going to get her nice and beautiful. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure that you watch our social media because we're going to have our after photos and you'll really get to see the full body and shine that we created here. Thank you guys again. My name is Joy Williams, Executive Master Educator with Farouk Systems. See you later.